somewhere in Africa in the 15th century. A man has a dream, and everything changed. He was captured, enslaved, taken around the world, and through challenges he would have never imagined, he arrived in Japan. No Japanese, no guarantee, no roadmap. Yet he never gave up. He earned the trust of the Lord Nobunaga and became the first African samurai in Japanese history. And this is one of the most respected warrior in the world. His name was Yasuke. 400 years later, another African arrived in Japan. No Japanese, no network, no roadmap, just a dream. And believed that Africa and Japan belong together. That African is me. My name is David Pondeu, and today I want to talk to you about, not about where I started and where I arrived, but I want to talk about everything in between. In between. Between your dream and your success, there is a space nobody talked about enough. That space is filled with doubt, rejection, and lonely decision, but also with passion, action, and gratitude, and the right people showing up at the right time. Everything between, that's where your true story is written. My roots are in Tio, a small village in Glasgow, the center of Benin. I was born in Côte d'Ivoire, a second child of a family of 8. We didn't have much. We had each other. And the belief that my parents tell me so much is education is one thing that no one can take from you. When it was time for secondary school, I was sent to Daloa, a city in the central west Côte d'Ivoire. I'm moving with my aunt. At first, everything was good. Then she passed away. Along with that, some friends started dropping out from school. No money, no support, no clear path forward. I look at myself and made a decision. I'm not going to give up. So I rent my own apartment. And at that age, there is no money. So I make cement. I do construction work and I teach a student, and I started small photography business. I do whatever I could to pay my own school fee and help myself, of course, but help my brothers and sisters' education. They were there. I was hungry. Hungry because of the situation. But I learned to use that anger as a fuel. My friend called me Tonton Lajoie, Uncle Joy. Because no matter how hard things become, I keep my smile. Today, my colleagues call me, of course, they know me. Mr. Life is beautiful. Not because it's easy. Because even every difficulty, there is a seed for something greater. After my baccalaureate in Côte d'Ivoire, I moved to Benin. And I studied, I learned, I was serving because I love to be leader. But I watch talented, educated young people in Africa. They have ambition. They're looking for opportunity that even maybe did not exist. I was keep asking myself, why? Why is this gap not fill up? Then through my work with a Japan-based NPO back in the day, and I was coordinator, and I was start seeing something clearly. Japan has extraordinary technology, resources, but yet facing aging population. On the other side, African youth, talented young people, but struggling with a huge market of opportunity. So I thought I would bring them together. Then with that situation will not leave me alone, I quit my job. And everyone was, surprised. It's not because I figured out everything, but coming to Japan, taking this decision is because I learned something from that boy who makes cement in Dalwa. If you don't move, who will move for you? You have to dream big. Take action. So your dream does not need to be safe. Dream big so big that they scare you. I came to Japan in 2017 through Persona Awaji Youth Federation in Awaji Island here. First, I realized Japan is extraordinary. But second, I don't speak any Japanese. But I have a fire inside me. And one of my mentors, Mr. Nambu Yasuki, often say, when in doubt, take action. I took action. I wanted to connect Japan and Africa. I tell everyone around me who want to listen, even those who did not want to listen. Whenever a guest speaker comes in our program, I will raise my hand, I will discuss in the lecture, but later on when they go, I will send them an email. And at the end of the email, I will say, by the way, my name is David from Benin. My dream is to connect Japan and Africa. If you know anyone who is doing similar work, please connect me. The management will call me more than one. David, we don't do that in Japan. You need to let us know first because those are very important people. Or at least CC us in the email. I will adjust my approach, but I will keep reaching out. Whenever I call, I will take bus from Awaji to Tokyo every weekend. Sometimes 9 hours in the bus. I will arrive in the Saturday morning, attend several networking events. And then after, on Sunday evening, I will take another night bus, come back to Awaji, and I will arrive in the morning. And 9 a.m., I'm already in the office. But I will stay in the capsule hotel. That's real. My friend will say, David, aren't you tired? Do you like this life? And I say, of course, I don't. I'm tired, of course, sometimes. But when I think about this boy who is mixing cement, if that boy did not stop, why will I stop? Here's one of my favorite stories about taking action. Early on, I was looking for someone, a key partner, someone who can support me in this journey, who understands both Japan and Africa. And I heard about this professor in Kyoto, a president of a university. And I said, this is my man. I went to social media, I sent him a message, he responded. When I was booking an appointment, he didn't confirm. Anyway, I took a bus, I went to Kyoto. I arrived in the university, and the secretary asked me, do you have an appointment? I said, not exactly. But I came from Awaji Island, and I really want to meet the professor before I go back. I sat down and waited. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. She will come back to me again and say, David, he's still in meeting. Would you come another day? I don't know, I'll wait. I'm fine. I was there. 7 hours later, the professor walked out. He looked at me and said, David, how long have you been here? Oh my God. And I said, since this morning. He looked at me, he smiled, and said, let's go for a dinner. We went to the dinner, and I shared my vision, what I think Japan and Africa should do. I started discussing with the professor. He listened to me, and from that day, he became one of the people who's been working with me on everything I'm doing today. That dinner, it changed something because I took action. So for you, action is the bridge between your dream and the success. Keep that in mind. You cannot cross the bridge alone. You need always someone. And the right people, they don't come when you plan. They will arrive when you share what you carry. You give before you think about receiving. Because sometimes we want to always receive. No. So back in Benin, let me tell you another story. When I was finishing my thesis, a Japanese came, and I was supporting her to visit Benin because voluntarily. And then we were having time to talk. And I told her, look I'm working on this dissertation, and this is the author, a playwright, Femi Osofisa. I was working on his playwright. She said, David, last week I was in Nigeria, I just met this guy. I said, oh, miracle. So I went to Nigeria, I met the professor, the writer, we discussed. When I showed the picture later to my supervisor, a professor, he looked at me and said, David, I've been working on this writer for a long time, but I never got to meet him. But you just did it. So when you meet the right people, you do more than you expected, actually. So I was there one day when my embassy reached out and said, David, do you have any connection with any university that could connect with Benin to do something together? I introduced them University in Kobe. They signed MOU, and the student from Benin started getting scholarship from that opportunity. And a friend of mine asked me, David, what do you get from this? I said, but someone from my country can benefit. Another day, we were having community dinner. And these young people were around, we were enjoying, they were thriving, they were happy. But none of them knew I was the connector. Because of me, they were able to get scholarship to come to Japan. And I was just quietly there, satisfied. So I think right people, that's what they can do for each other. They change life direction. So I started small. Of course, I dreamed big, but I did not know this big dream will become beyond my expectation. Because it became a mission. And that mission is to connect Japan and Africa, being the bridge. And this bridge will be used by anyone who wants to connect with Japan and Africa. This platform, I've been able to create, fund this. It's called the African Diaspora Network Japan. But I didn't stop there. I thought I want to do more. So I co-founded the Africa Samurai. I think maybe that's why people will call me Samurai. That is providing IT training to young people in my country, in Benin. And these young people will get jobs after that. And this was featured on NHK World. I organize Osaka Africa Business Forum annually. I co-chair Youth Agenda 2055. This is a policy that connects youth voices to connect Japan and Africa. We handed over this document officially to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Japan. And during the closing remark at the TICAD 9, the Prime Minister called my name. of course, my colleague are representing this initiative. U.S. Africa Leaders Summit, I was invited by the White House. And later on, during the World Expo, we established the Osaka African Diaspora PANAF. It's called the African Dining Hall. You see the same professor? Okay. So this was the most successful African-focused restaurant in the Expo history. We had 500,000 visitors. We have 400,000 meals. So we understand that when you're talking about connecting your dream, you cannot escape meeting the right people because they are the ones to support you to reach that. So the boy that you see today, and the same boy that have been mixing cement. And this boy, what he have in mind is to not give up. So during the other days, he believed in the gratitude, the determination that sat in university lobby for 7 hours. So if you look at all this determination and all this connection, it depends on how much you show your passion, your vision. And someday you will, of course, doubt. And the day you doubt, take action. It doesn't mean where you are, either where you arrive. It's everything in between. I want to leave you with something. Everything in between is, of course, from the concept of life is beautiful that you learn from me. Life is beautiful, which means keep the right attitude, good attitude, be positive. Dream big. Take action. And find the right people to connect with to achieve your dream. Thank you very much.